I just don't like how we banged up right now, man. It's just like, dang.
Did you hear Broderick Jones's quotes?
No. Talk to me, man.
He says he's as healthy as he's gonna get.
There it is. That's the quote I love to hear, baby. As healthy as he is going to get. You know what that means? Yeah, bro, it's bad. It ain't surgery bad, but it is what it is, man. It ain't about to get any nicer than this. So we're gonna rehab. We're gonna do what we need to do. I'm gonna brace it up. I'm playing. Yeah,
he said no excuses.
I know exactly what he's saying. Facts. I get that. I don't.
So we might have to bench him.
No. So this is the thing, man. If we had an alternative option, sure. But right now, we're talking about a guy who has a compromised arm versus a guy who has a compromised leg in terms of Troy, who is also a rookie. So I just think I get what he said. He's basically telling us, like, look, bro, this
what if Fawatana is 100% by week 1 and Broderick's at this 60, 70%? And he's going to be at 60, 70% the whole season.
If he's 60, 70%, I think that's a very different conversation. I think if he's flirting with 80, closer to 90, and we just know, like, yo, you're going to be dealing with a compromised arm in some capacity, then I'm rolling with Broderick to start it off until he shows me he can't be out there. But if he's 50, 60%, Broderick hasn't shown that much just yet where we're like, yeah, half of Broderick is better than a whole Troy as a rookie. Like, a healthy Troy, like, I can't go there just yet. You saw Broderick last week?
That's what I mean. That was bad.
Yeah. Now, hopefully that was the 50, 60%. This week he's 80, 90%. That can't be his 80, 90. That can't be his 80, 90. That can't be his 80, 90.
He healed up that quick.
I just don't think that's his 80, 90. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's the combo of the injuries and
it is preseason.
Not caring about preseason.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going with that. Because even when I went back and watched, I was like, yo, let me just see. Are you favoring it? Do you shake it after you get beat? You know, some dudes, that's like the thing. You get beat on the rep and it's like, hold on, let me go to the injury real quick. Let me just, He ain't do that. So I'm like, yeah, how like bad is it? Or is it just a bad play by you, bad game by you, and we just chalk that up? So that's why I'm hoping to get new information this week when we see him versus Detroit.
Is he only saying this because he expects to start and be out there versus if he actually sat out half the season, he could be 100%?
It could be a little bit of both. I don't see why both can't be true. And the problem is we can't get that 100% information until the injury report comes out. Preseason, the teams aren't obligated to put out injury reports. I get that from, like I said, talking to reporters that are down there and, you know, just trying to figure out who knows what in terms of the injury stuff because there's no official news about that. But the communication, man, could go a couple of ways. I know from personal experiences, you have a certain injury, man, where you do feel like you're compromised. They'll put you in the brace, and the conversation is, man, we don't have the options. So you're either going to do it or we're going to set you down for the whole season and we got to bring in somebody else. And when it's that convo, you're like, bro, brace me up. I'm going to do what I have to do until I can't anymore. And depending on how that conversation went to Broderick, that could be why he said what he said. I'm as healthy as I'm going to be, but no excuses. I'm playing. Because he understands that who am I going to sit down for? Who am I going to take myself out the lineup for that we're clearly saying, hey, you're better. This is the better option. We're seeing it be the better option. We don't have that right outside of Dan Moore. We don't have that. And with Troy, the bad part is because he's still coming back from the injury, he's not getting the valuable practice reps right now either. So you go from three series in the preseason where he kind of got the bad end of it to now throw him out there week 1.
It all depends on what the status was on Broderick this last game.
This is true.
That's what it comes down to.
I need Broderick to have been compromised in some capacity.
If that was Broderick's best, then yes, I am just throwing Fawatana out there.
I would agree. That's why I'm saying I need that to be the worst it looked. But I can't tell until I see him this week. Because now we can compare the performances. Right now, it's just like, yo, I got a bad and a really bad.
Maybe it's almost like the quarterback situation.
Yeah.
You try Broderick out for a couple weeks. If he ain't right, then you got to throw Fawatana out.
You know
there.
what?
Shut Broderick down.
I think that's something that they're having those discussions about. I feel like the Troy knee situation makes it very different because it is a lower body injury. When you're talking lower body, just the way that you're talking about the movement, kick slide, and sustainability is just a lot more caution that goes with guys coming back from lower body injuries versus upper body. If Broderick was in a knee brace because he tweaked his knee, you're not seeing him out there. You tweak that elbow, you're going to be out there. Tweak that ankle, iffy. Shoulder pop out, you out there. You know, like that's just you break your ankle, you're not out there. You break your wrist, put me in the cast, I'm playing. Break your toe, I can't run, man. Sit him down. Break your finger, man. Take me up, I'm good. So I just think that for those two, that's kind of gonna be where they're at right now. But hopefully Troy gets healthy, so now we can make it at least where we have legitimate options.
Yeah.
Because right now I just don't feel like we necessarily have the full gamut of options that we would want. Like, granted, we could put other guys out there, but for what we want,
Some people are high on Dylan Cook.
that's what I was gonna say. If we wanted, like, we could do this, but that is very different than the conversation being a Broderick or a Troy or one of those with Dan Moore. I think a Dylan Cook and Dan Moore, I don't know how many people are gonna be sold on that, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
2 first-round picks at the offensive tackle spot aren't going to be playing week 1 potentially.
You catch what I mean?
If you do that, I think we're still going to go with Broderick. But what if it is Dylan Cook and Dan Moore?
People be looking like this.
Towner and Broderick Jones on the bench.
Now
it would be a little bit due to injuries, but
until somebody got hit or it was a sack, and then we gonna be out
wild.
here losing our minds, man. Yeah. So that's the thing, man. With those dudes, I'm just like, I wish the health was a little bit clearer, because I think that would make it a little bit easier for us to process. But we're dealing with that at tackling. We also got the center situation. Like I said, we've officially put Nate Herbig on injured reserve with the torn rotator cuff. So we starting the rookie. For better or worse, man, we're gonna find out.
yeah, I'm happy about Frazier starting, but this isn't how I wanted it to be.
Yeah. It is also funny to me too.
Because Frazier's played good too. I think it would have been, even if Herbig was still healthy, a legitimate conversation going into week 1. Maybe they would have stuck with her. Like my guess is the Steelers would have won that approach.
They would,
but I think it would be a legit conversation with how Frazier's been playing.
Because
Herbig
played well.
But credit to Herbig, because Herbig has stood up on his own.
Absolutely.
If it was Herbig coming out here and not looking good, then it'd be obvious it was Frazier. But no, Herbig
and
started
they also
this.
like the veteran presence that he brings, because he's not a rookie. He's been out here for a while now.
Yeah, he started off as center one and really hasn't given it up.
Yeah.
So you got to credit him for that.
No, respect, man. Respect. But yeah, that's one of the ones too where it's like, not only does that force Zach Frazier into the starting lineup without a safety net now, because we said Herbig could play bad, you could go to Frazier. Frazier, if he started and played bad, you could always potentially go back to Herbig. Right now, that's a little bit up in the air, but it also impacts a guy like Mason McCormick. You know, because now you're talking about, instead of you being just backup guard, now you need to come over here and get the center action.
What about Spencer Anderson?
Potentially him as well. Yeah.
Because he got the center snaps at Maryland. Was he taking center snaps last preseason, last offseason?
Last preseason, yes.
Has he done any this year?
OTAs, I don't know in terms of
I feel like
game.
He's been doing guard,
I don't feel like
right?
he's been game, yeah. And I know with Mason McCormick, there has been communication from him that he will be taking on more snapping stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know in terms of the rotation, are they going to put him out there with that second unit? But that has been communicated that he's going to have to take on a little bit more snapping stuff. And he said he's cool with it. He said he has, background snapping and stuff like that as well. So like, all right.
I kind of like that approach better than signing a Mason Cole.
Okay.
At least right now. I think it's a different story if Frazier does go down and we're talking about bumping up Mason McCormick or signing another guy. I think that's a whole different story. But I would almost just like to see how some of these young guys develop on the depth chart, like the Dylan Cooks, like the Mason McCormicks and Spencer Anderson, as opposed to getting someone out there like a Mason Cole who's on the back half.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to him, but I'd rather just give these guys the opportunity to show some of their versatility and what they can do.
So,
because we got some guys who can be the foundation for this O-line for the next 5 or 6 years.
That's how we felt when we got this draft. We said, man, between last year and this year, the amount of resources that we put in draft picks for the offensive line, I mean, we got 4 dudes within, our top 2-day draft picks, man. So we clearly feel good about that group in terms of what we're investing in them. But it's one of those things almost like in real life with an investment. Are we about to look at it too soon, before it's had a chance to really develop and grow and become what we think it's capable of? And does that change our overall outlook on what it is because we're looking at it right now versus allowing it to have some of that time to mature and develop?
Yeah, and luckily with Mason McCormick, he's not our center one. Or he doesn't have to start at guard.
Right.
So perfect world, our starting O-line can stay healthy. He's just chilling on the depth chart, learning and developing throughout the season.
Yeah.
But if Frazier does go down, I think you do have legitimate conversations about trading for a more proven center.
Yeah.
Versus starting McCormick.
Especially if we feel
But I
like
would wait
the season
till
is
then.
going good and, you know, everything else looks fine in terms of protection. If that's the only thing that we're isolating and saying, yo, this injury is the only reason why we got to be better, yeah, I'm with you.